Hello, my angels, and welcome back to my channel. Yes, I am back once again with the Art I Consumed series. I took a little 2-month break, so this is Art I Consumed in June. I may or may not have skipped April and May, but it wasn't necessarily intentional. I was just working a lot. I was actually creating more than I was consuming, which is a good thing. And I also went to Scotland, so there was some other factors, but I did still consume a lot of art in June and a few things in April and May that I'm just gonna toss in here. But really quick, before we jump into all of the art I consumed, I'm going to go ahead and plug some of my art. If you like my taste in art, then you might like the art that I create. I am a spoken word poet / beat poet. I had a single come out in April called I Will Not Go to Mars With You, and that is available for you to listen to on this channel and on all streaming platforms. And I also had a collab with Vertigo Vinyl drop on Earth Day this year, which was really crazy. There's still some copies left if you want one, so I will have that linked down below. There's not that many left, so if you want one, now is the time. And also I want to quickly plug my website. I have all kinds of merch over there that you can peruse and look at, but also Karissa's Oracle is restocked. If you don't know what Karissa's Oracle is, it's essentially me writing handwritten messages straight from the divine to your mailbox, and I restock them every single month. So the July batch is now on sale, so if you want one for yourself, I will have that linked down below, and you might want to grab one because they tend to sell out fairly quickly. All right, no more yapping because I have so much art to get through today, like so many things, because it's kind of like 3 months worth of consumption that we have to break down and talk about today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the books. What books did I consume in the month of June / May / April? The first book that I read, well, I started it before I went to Scotland. So I started this back in April and I finally finished it, I would say probably around 3 weeks after I got home. So I took my time with this one, but I'm really glad I did because I loved it so much. Arguably, this might be my new favorite book. Yes, I know that that's like a crazy thing to say, but basically this is Witchlight by Susan Fletcher. And why I started this before I went to Scotland is because most of the story is set in Scotland. 1692, Corag, a wild young girl living in the mountains of Scotland, has been imprisoned as a witch. Terrified in a cold, filthy cell, she awaits her fate of death by burning, until she is visited by Charles Leslie, an Irishman hungry to question her. For Corag knows more than it seems. She was witness to the bloody and brutal massacre of Glencoe. But to reveal what she knows, Corag demands a chance to tell her true story. What sold me on this was the whole concept of a persecuted witch telling her life story to a priest before she gets burned at the stake. I was like, wow, that's such an interesting premise. I wonder how it'll play out. Also, I love Scotland. I'm going to Scotland. I was so unbelievably impressed with this author's writing style, with her ability to capture the beauty of the Scottish Highlands. I don't think I've ever read anything that quite captures it the way that this does. This was so moving for me personally as a practicing witch, but also just as someone who has a deep connection to the earth. One of the most beautifully written and enriching relationships in this novel is the relationship between Corag and the earth. You will really love the prose here. The prose is so beautifully written. There's so many moments here that are put so perfectly that it moved me to tears. So many women back then were persecuted for witchcraft who weren't even technically witches. Like, I wouldn't even say she was technically a witch. She was more of a healer than anything, like with herbs, herbal remedies, things like that. It also has a lot of elements of Outlander, not the time travel, but maybe the time period. The fact that she is an English woman in the Scottish Highlands. They all call her Sassenach. She's a nurse. So it's kind of like similar-ish to Outlander. So if you like Outlander, you'll really like this. If you have a deep connection with spirituality, I think, or the earth, I think you would really enjoy this. Or if you have a fascination with witchcraft, Scotland, anything of the like, I could not recommend this more. I devoured this slowly. I'm really glad that I devoured it the way that I did because it was so moving. All right, the next and final book. I know I'm like, oh, all this art I consumed and I only read 2 books. I didn't really read that much. I watched more films and listened to more music. But the second novel that I read, well, I listened to the audiobook, which I don't normally do, but for this, I just had to. I read The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer, written by David Lynch's daughter. I know, super cool, and voiced by Cheryl Lee, who plays Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks. Yes, this is a Twin Peaks novel spin-off, kind of. It's Laura Palmer's diary, as you can hear in the title. Devastating, heart-wrenching. It was a 6.5-hour audiobook that I found it on YouTube, actually. And I locked in. I listened to the entire thing in a day. I sat there on my bed. I laid on my bed. This is how you're supposed to listen to this book, by the way. I laid on my bed for 6.5 hours and start to finish listened to her entire diary and cried. And of course, I cried. If you think after watching Fire Walk with Me, if you think that was bad, which it's pretty bad. If you're like, oh wow, Laura Palmer, wow, she suffered more than Jesus, which is what I thought before. After you listen to this, oh my God, it's so much worse than we even think. Laura Palmer's life is nothing if not tragic, devastating, terrifying, and bleak. This was so sad, but in some weird way, it inspired me to write in my diary more. I mean, I write in my diary fairly frequently, but Laura was like locked in. Like, she was a busy girl. She was so busy, but also so locked in with telling her diary every juicy detail of what was going on in her life. And it is so much worse than you think. So if you're a Twin Peaks fan, if you're a fan of Laura Palmer and you have not listened to Cheryl Lee read her diary, you are missing out, my friend. Trigger warning though, major trigger warning, same trigger warnings for Fire Walk with Me, I believe. So if you've seen Fire Walk with Me, you really, really need to read this. I'm pretty sure, unless there's something I don't know about that I'm still missing, I'm all caught up with all the Twin Peaks lore. I love Twin Peaks so much. If you've been listening or watching my Art I Consume series, you know I've been consuming Twin Peaks content over the past few months, and this was the final puzzle piece for me. Heartbreaking. I am going to remember Laura Palmer forever. I will remember her story forever. Anyway, yeah, those were the 2 books that I read/listened to in the month of June. Next, I want to move on to the films. What are all of the films that I consumed in the month of June/April/May? First film I watched, don't mind me just referencing my notes here because yes, I do take extensive notes. So, Panic in Needle Park from 1971. This has been on my list for a long time. It's one of those movies that is about drug addiction, which we have a surplus of in Hollywood. So I wanted to see how this one would differ from other ones I've seen, if it would differ very much. Plus, I'm just a big fan of early 70s films in general, or 70s films. So this was one that was on my list. This film is gorgeously shot, which is mainly because I'm a big fan of 70s cinematography, and it's somehow comforting in its delivery until it reaches like the boiling point of the film. She's a girl who craves structure, she craves stability, she craves love, tries to find it in Al Pacino. Classic I can fix him story. Moral of the story here, you can't fix him. Unfortunately, you can't fix him, you will just become him. And the him in question is adorable, super flirty Al Pacino in the early 70s New York, with one tiny flaw. He's a heroin addict. I don't care how cute he is, ladies, you can't always fix him. So is it worth it? No. But yeah, good film, wouldn't rewatch it. Next film I watched was Companion. I think this came out early this year or last year, I can't really remember. It has Sophie Thatcher in it. I have not watched Yellow Jackets yet, you guys, before all the comments are like, have you watched Yellow Jackets? I haven't yet, because I wanted to get through all of the Twin Peaks things before I jump into Yellow Jackets, but I'm gonna watch it this month, so just be patient. Anyways, yeah, Sophie Thatcher, she's a great actress. I enjoyed this for the most part. It's entertaining. I was on the plane ride home from Scotland. I was severely bored and severely sad that my trip was over. So Maybe that tainted my watching experience. I just think this was trying to be really like profound and deep. I did not find it to be as profound as it thinks it is. I just found some of it to be kind of corny. I can't really put my finger on what exactly. Oh, it was that fuck ass line of dialogue. What did he call her? It was like his nickname for her or something, that he says it like a multiple times throughout the film. And every time he said it, my skin crawled and I knocked off a point. What was it? It's something stupid. Because she's a sex bot, okay? She's a sex bot. Sex bot frees herself from the sex bot shackles, girl boss kind of movie. I just didn't care for it. Oh, he called her Beep Boop. He said, hey, Beep Boop. What are we doing? What is this corny ass dialogue? Like, I just feel like it could have been better. It was supposed to be a dark comedy, I think. The Beep Boop thing, it was really just okay. Okay, next film I watched. Another 70s film. I know, I was just in a little 70s mood. I watched The Blood on Satan's Claw from 1971. 1970s camp, ominous, B-movie, horror, folk horror, slay. I love movies like this. I love the cinematography that comes in movies like this. It's just, we aren't making movies like this anymore. It's just a bygone era, and it's an era that I really have a deep appreciation for. The only reason I didn't give this a higher rating was because there is this particular scene that did not need to be there. Why do we need to have a scene like that? Why do we need to have an assault scene? Is it necessary to the plot? Not really, but then again, Satan's followers, are they really morally sound? No. But do we need to have an assault scene? Also no. I love the B-movie of it all. I love the acting style, and I love the soundtrack was really great. Like, the score was really great. So many memorable scenes. But yeah, that one scene was just super unnecessary. But if you like 70s folk horror, then you will enjoy this film, I think. Next film that I watched was from the year 2000, the film Malena. This has been on my list for quite some time as well, because the premise has always been really, really interesting to me. Basically, it's about this woman who is Monica Bellucci, who is obviously drop-dead, stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, like out of this world stunning. And it's kind of about her experience as a stunning, otherworldly goddess living in a small, highly judgmental Italian town, and how she is treated in that Italian town. This is pretty privilege, question mark, the film. Is it really pretty privilege if all the townsfolk want to kick your teeth in? Is it really pretty privilege if no one can really see you for who you are? If no one can really understand you for who you are? If no one really loves you for who you are? Is it really a privilege? Or is it a thing that just makes your life harder, makes your life worse? But although it's dramatized in its delivery, it's still very relatable to women who have felt lonely or ostracized due to the way that they look, the violence that women can endure at the hands of jealousy, at the hands of projection, at the hands of fantasy. You know what I'm saying? So this is really interesting. This was a really interesting film. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. Next film that I watched is kind of random, but I wanted a comfort film. Nothing will really quite comfort me the way that an old classic Disney film will. So I rewatched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, another film about a woman that is too pretty for her own good. Pretty privilege, question mark, is like a whole genre, and this is another one. I know it's a kid's film, it's an animated film, it's the first Walt Disney film ever, it's super iconic. Obviously, everyone and their mother has already seen this. No, I have not seen the live action remake, and I don't care to. But we will get into live action remakes in a second. I love this film. It's comforting, it's sweet. I love the songs. I love Dopey, and Snow White is so cute and adorable. She's so cute. She's so underrated. I feel like she doesn't really get like the love she deserves. Like, she had a bob and a dream. Yeah, not much else to say about that. Okay, next film I watched had to be rewatched. This is a rewatch for me, but it was a first time watch for my boyfriend Caleb. To my horror, He told me he had never seen The Princess Bride. Yeah, The Princess Bride, aka the best movie of all time. I hadn't rewatched this in a really long time. This is from the 80s. This is from 1987. This is a film that I grew up on. This is one of my childhood favorite films ever. Medieval, comedic, heartwarming, iconic, and quotable as fuck. I highly recommend The Princess Bride if you have never seen it, as you wish. What was his name? Wesley? Oh my god, he was like the standard for men before I even had standards for men. Yeah, okay, speaking of live action remakes, I watched the new How to Train Your Dragon. Yes, because why? Because of a few reasons. One of my favorite activities ever of all time is to get unbelievably stoned and go to the movie theater. And there was really nothing in the theaters at the time that I was interested in seeing other than How to Train Your Dragon, because not because I care for remakes, I really don't. I'm actually really against them, but I am a big fan of How to Train Your Dragon, the original. It's probably one of my favorite animated films of all time. This is my Letterboxd review. Such a faithful adaptation, a win, that it becomes boring quickly because you've seen it before, and you think to yourself, why are we making the same movie twice? So an ultimate lose? Yes, the original is still better. You can't outdo the Zooer. You can't outdo the original. It's basically the same exact movie. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's the same film. So why do we need it? Is it necessary? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Did I cry when I heard the score? Yes. But yeah, this was good. I wouldn't watch it again. If I want to watch How to Train Your Dragon, then I'm just going to watch the original. But did I still have a good old jolly high as a kite time? I surely did. The next film I watched was an annual midsummertime rewatch, and that is the horror A24 film, Midsummer. Yes, one of my favorite films literally ever. I have watched this film so many times because there was an era when it first came out where it was my comfort film. And I know I'm not alone there. I know there are some other baddies out there that have an Ari Aster film in their comfort film rewatch cycle. This is one of them for me. I don't rewatch it that often, but now I do rewatch it for Midsummer. And we just had Midsummer in June, so obviously I rewatched it. The score here is amazing. The cinematography is amazing. Everyone has seen Midsummer. Everyone. I don't find it that scary. I do really enjoy the psychedelic aspects of it as someone who is interested in psychedelics to a degree. That aspect of this film has always really fascinated me. Ari Aster is a master at capturing grief and heavy emotion, and Florence Pugh is iconic in this. The screaming scene with all the women is my favorite scene in the film, or the dancing around the maypole scene. Thinking to myself, and I'm like, you know, I actually think this would work on me. Like, if I went to Sweden and they gave me a flower crown and they wanted to, like, do some crazy stuff, like, I would buy into it. She did nothing wrong. This is in that genre of films of, you want me to think she did something wrong, but I know that she did nothing wrong. She did nothing wrong. The next film that I watched, oh, this film was so good. I finally watched White Oleander from 2002. Yes, 2002. This has Michelle Pfeiffer in it, which I didn't realize until I started the film. I really like her. Again, another heart-wrenching film about loneliness. I feel like loneliness is like a theme in a lot of the art that I consumed in June. Like, this book, loneliness. Milena, loneliness. A lot of the music I'm about to talk about, loneliness. This film, loneliness. More films about loneliness. Karissa, are you lonely? Maybe. Female teenagehood, female loneliness, and the feeling of just wanting to belong somewhere, the feeling of craving family and structure. This film feels like it could have been directed by Sofia Coppola, or it could have been directed by, what's that woman's name? Catherine Hardwicke, who made 13. Kind of a similar vibe. If you like The Virgin Suicides and 13, you will like White Oleander. I really recommend it. Next film, I rewatched Blue Velvet, a David Lynch film, because in my last video, if you watched the vlog, then you know I went and visited David Lynch's grave, one of David Lynch's psychosexual dramas and one of my personal favorites. David Lynch's ability to write and capture complicated and tragic women needs to be studied. Yes, it does. Just some of my notes here. Blue Velvet covers the dark and seedy underbelly of the American portrait of completeness and the violence of man. Very similar to Twin Peaks in that way. Kyle MacLachlan is simply one of my favorite actors ever. And it's just so apparent that this film did directly kind of lead into and inspire Twin Peaks. Like, they have a lot of similarities. If I haven't sold you on David Lynch by now, I don't know what else I need to say. Anyways, the next film that I watched, the last film that I watched, and then I watched some seasons of a TV show, and we will get into it, okay? But I watched May from 2002. I fucking loved this film so much. One of my favorite films I've seen recently. I actually can't believe I haven't seen this before. This is another film about female loneliness. This is a character study through the eyes of our main character, May, who is a socially very awkward, weird girl who has a desire for the darker things in life, the weirder things in life. You know what song came to mind as I was watching this? Like, it just popped into my head. The song Doll Parts by Hole. It's not on the soundtrack, but imagine if it was. And because she's iconic, she completely snaps in a very Stephen King's Carrie kind of way. It's great. I loved this. It was dark. It was weird as fuck. It was disturbing. It was relatable. It was frightening. It was great. I loved this. If you love a character study type movies, like Joker type movies, you'll like this. Not that this is like Joker. This is not like Joker. This is not like Joker. This is not like Joker. This is like female Joker, but not. It's its own thing, okay? You'll like it. Just watch it. Okay, finally, the final thing I need to talk about in the film section of this video, and I've been talking for so long. This video is going to be so long, so I'm going to try to not yap too much about this. I watched the first 4 seasons, I think. First 3.5, 4 seasons of Outlander. Why did I stop watching it? It got to a point where I got really uncomfortable. I couldn't keep watching just because I'm going to say 2 words. America, 1700s. It was a little too real. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to see that. So I just stopped watching. But the first 3 seasons of this show are spectacular. I love this show. I've watched the first season before. I had seen season 1 back in high school. I just quit watching it. Don't really know why. I picked it back up before I went to Scotland for obvious reasons. If you don't know Outlander, everyone knows Outlander. If you don't know Outlander, it is about this woman who touches a standing stone in Scotland, gets shot back in time 300 years, and meets her soulmate, Jamie Fraser, in 1700s Scotland. And it is epic. It is epic. It is sexy. It is heartwarming. It is heartbreaking. It is dramatic. It is bloody. And it is downright entertaining. I love this show. Like I said, I can't keep watching anymore. I just can't. But this is great. I think Jamie Fraser is the male standard. I'll say it because you're too afraid to say it. He's the male standard. And no, I don't mean looks. I don't mean that. I mean, that helps. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I just mean who he is. He's such a good husband. I'm gagged. He's such a good husband. I wish men were real. I wish men were real. Why aren't men real? Why aren't men like this real? It's not even funny anymore. It was funny at first, haha, it's written by a woman. It's a man written by a woman. It's so funny. It's so funny until it's not, until you're just faced with the grim reality that you will never have a Jamie Fraser in your life. You will never have one. I hate to break it to you. Maybe you have one. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I love my partner. But if I got shot back in time 300 years, and this man... I don't blame Claire. I would have done the same thing, girl. She's like, my husband, back in 1940, whatever, 3. Girl, let's be serious for a second. This man right here is the man to outdo all men. He is the man of every century. Every century. Man of the year. I miss Scotland so much. Every day I wake up and cry that I'm not in the Scottish Highlands. But yeah, Outlander's great. And that is all the films that I watched in June/April/May. And now I'm going to jump into my favorite part, the music. What is the beautiful music that I consumed and listened to in the month of June? Aurora. Yes, Miss Aurora, one of my favorite artists of all time ever. She came out with her deluxe version of her album that came out last year, What Happened to the Heart. This came with some remixes that I did not care for. I don't really care for remixes, but also 3 new singles that I really enjoy each one for different reasons. I love this. I love Aurora. I love The Weight of Missing is so stunningly gorgeously written. Aurora's lyricism is one of my favorite things about her. Her ability to capture the weight of humanity and her ability to write about really big themes in such simple terms, such beautiful, simple terms, and breaking things down to be relatable to all. It's just so good. She's just a master of her craft. I love Aurora so much. I think my favorite out of the 3 new songs is The Flood. The Flood is the one I've replayed the most. Next, I want to talk about a single that came out by an artist that I have been listening to for a really, really, really long time, actually. And that is Honey Gentry's newest single, Lick the Stars. She is my homegirl. This is also produced by Elliot Woodbridge, who also produces my beat poetry. So you gotta support a brother, but you also gotta support a sister. I love Honey Gentry. This fits perfectly into her discography. This is one of my favorite singles I've heard from her, maybe ever. I really, really love this song. It's so magical. It's so dreamy, beautiful. The way it builds up is so beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love Honey Gentry. I'm always rooting for her. Real ones remember Honey Gentry from way back in the day on the Mermaid Motel YouTube channel. Did I just ring a bell for you? Yes, RIP Mermaid Motel. Real ones watched Mermaid Motel. No, I'm not talking about the Lana Del Rey song. I'm talking about the YouTube channel. Mermaid Motel. I miss her every day. I don't know what happened to her. Love you. Ooh, hold on. Love you, Queen. Love you, Honey Gentry. This is a great song. Y'all need to go stream. Okay, the next piece of music, I don't even know how I'm gonna talk about this without just like imploding, because this, Karissa, English language, hello. This EP changed my life. Listening to this changed my life. How did I stumble across this, you ask? What am I even talking about? I'm talking about Joanna Newsom. And I'm talking about her EP. I'm gonna say it wrong. It's Wise? YS. I'm talking about Joanna Newsom, and I'm talking about this medieval folk masterpiece. Yes, medieval folk masterpiece. I said what I said. My brain like truly can't even wrap around how someone could create something like this. It's so perfection. It's so it's like she's a master. She's a master of music. She is a master of her craft. Okay, so let me explain. Her writing makes me feel like I've never written anything in my life. The song Only Skin is one of my favorite songs of all time, and it is 17 minutes long. Joanna Newsom is a harpist and a master lyricist. The song, I'm bouncing around like a psycho. The song Only Skin is the best song I've ever heard, and it's 17 minutes long. It's 17 minutes long. It's a 17-minute medieval folk ballad. This whole EP is long, medieval folk richness, goodness, realness. It's so good. The song Only Skin is over 1,000 words long. There's so many words. It's so wordy. It's a poet's wet dream. Honestly, like this is a poet's wet dream. If you are a poet, if you love the art of language, if you love medieval, anything medieval music, folk music, singer-songwriter, you will eat this up. You will love this. Now, the only thing that I will say is that some people might not be into her style of singing. She sounds like, when she sings, she sounds like this weird mixture of an old lady and a baby. I know, an old woman and like a child in one. But it works for me. I really enjoy it. Off-kilter delivery, and that's what this is. It's a perfect piece of art. No notes. No notes. Perfect piece of art. Please give this a slice of time. My attention span locked in for Joanna Newsom. I love her so much. And I watched like multiple live performances of this album. Why wasn't I there in 2006? Okay, next I'm going to recommend you an album that I found on the youtube.com, and I'm gonna butcher the name. I think it's Norwegian. If it's not, I'll fix it on the screen. Norwegian folk ritual music. Pagan. This is pagan ritual music, which I love listening to. It's Ossie and the Jupiter, and the title of this album is Nordlige Runeskog. Is that right? Nordlige Runeskog? Yeah, so stunning, so otherworldly. I love this album. Very minimal lyrics, if little to none. Like, it's mostly instrumentals. Gorgeous strings. I love strings. Like, I love cello, violin, anything like that. So gorgeous. I just love this. I don't even have really words to describe this other than if you like magical pagan ritual music, and if you like violins and cellos and archaic orchestral type music, then you will really, really enjoy this. The pagan sauce is strong and it is cooking and it is great. And I highly recommend this. Okay, next we have Miss Ethel Kate. Yep, she's back with more music. Her new album comes out in August, which I'm really, really could not be more excited for. But she released a single, Nettles. I love this. Who's surprised? Is anyone surprised? I love this. I love this song. So emotional. Because for some reason in my mind, I just connect this song to me and my boyfriend, like automatically self-insert. Like automatically self-inserted myself, which is not what you're supposed to do with the world of Ethel Kane, really. Because Ethel Kane is a fictional character, blah, 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 Willoughby Tucker. I'm not going to get into all that. The song itself is stunning. It's beautifully written. It's got a little country twang. It's a country twang kind of love song, but make it depressing. I don't know what else to say here. I love this so much. To love me is to suffer me. To love me is to suffer me. Anybody got a shot? Anybody got a shot? Love me is to suffer me. So good. Okay, 2 more albums I'm going to quickly touch on. I have been talking for so long. I'm going to try not to talk too much because these next 2 albums are probably my most played albums of June. First, I need to talk about, we actually see her over in the corner over here on vinyl. Queen! I need to talk about Princess of Power by Marina. I am a longtime supporter of Marina. I was highly anticipating this album, and it did not disappoint to me. Personally, I know a lot of people did not care for this album for whatever stupid reason. I don't know a more miserable fan base on earth. Actually, the Marina fan base, they are never happy with anything this poor woman does. Like, she cannot catch a break. I loved this. This is quintessential Marina. If you do not like this, I fear you don't understand Marina, okay? This is quintessential Marina. This honestly sounds like an Electra Heart / Fruit deep cut. This is fantastic. It really is all the best parts of all of Marina's past works blended up into one album. Like, I hear influences from her past eras in this body of work in the most refreshing, beautiful way. I only have 2 skips. I have 2 skips on the album. Not because they're bad. Maybe Hello Kitty is kind of bad. I don't really like that song. I'm sorry. I don't like the Hello Kitty song. I think we could have done without the Hello Kitty song, and I don't really care for what's the one? Everybody Knows I'm Sad. I know that that's a fan favorite. I didn't really care for it. Final Boss is my favorite. You know, the thing about Marina and we are spiritually connected. Marina and I are spiritually connected. What do I mean by that? Every time she releases something, it like weirdly resonates with me and like whatever's going on in my life. I mean, it's called Princess of Power, but it's about taking your power back from toxic situations, reclaiming your confidence, right? And that is so weirdly resonant with me right now, like where I am in my life. Like, it's so great. If you want some powerful pop anthems, look no further than Marina's newest record. Okay, and the final album that I want to talk about today, it's got the whole internet up in arms, of course, which is why I initially was interested, because I was like, what is this discourse? I'm talking about Addison by Addison Rae. Yes, Addison Rae, the TikToker. Yes, you heard me correctly. If you had told me that I would be listening to Addison Rae in the year 2025, I probably wouldn't believe you, just because she has a past on the internet that's maybe a bit cringe and maybe a bit like, hey, what is she doing? What's going on here? But her rebrand, I'm a big fan. Whether it's authentic or not, the blah, 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 I think it's authentic. Personally, for me, I feel like authenticity is a feeling, and I've touched on this before in a previous video, actually, the video where I was talking about authenticity in art. I find this to be super authentic. This whole record is about her dealing with fame at a young age. It's very coming of age. It's being a young woman in your 20s. It's figuring your life out. And the lyrics, everything about this just screams Addison Rae to me. I don't know what else y'all want from her. Like, I don't really get like how people think this is inauthentic. Like, you can see the authenticity beaming off of her. Like, every interview, I've watched the interviews, the live shows, all I've kept up because I really, really like this record. I know a lot of people don't. I think it's great. And I'll tell you why I think it's great in a second. I think a lot of the reasons why I have problems with, not problems, but my ear can kind of get turned off to a lot of pop music because it is so male-centered. And what I really enjoy about this album, or just her whole press run, everything is she's doing things from a very different angle. She's not writing about relationships. She's not writing about men. She's writing about her. She's writing about her life. A lot of this album is also like kind of a manifestation technique. Like, I think of the songs Money is Everything, Headphones On. Headphones On is maladaptive daydreaming core. And as a pro maladaptive daydreamer, I love that song. Yes, I will put my headphones on and listen to my favorite song and escape my reality. There's just so much about this record that I found very refreshing, and it's so fun to listen to. It's so danceable. And while I can very clearly hear her references like Madonna, Britney, Lana, like I can hear it, but it's still so quintessentially her. It just feels like her. I'm a big fan. I like it. You don't have to like it. You could be turned off by her past with TikTok or whatever, but I like this record. I think it's great to manifest to. My favorite songs are Aquamarine, which is like the Aquarius anthem to me. She's transforming, she's realigning. I also love Times Like These. I think that's such a great track. It's so early 2000s Britney to me. Cheetah Girls reminds me of like early 2000s Disney Channel in a lot of ways. Like, it's just so good. I really like it. I really like it. Don't yell at me in the comments. I really like it. I didn't think I would. Like, I was like, I'm not falling for the propaganda. Like, I'm not buying into this. And then I watched all of her music videos as well. I think the visuals here also really, really help this album come to life in a very artistic way. The visuals are helping this album be better than maybe what it is, but I'm obsessed. All the music videos, 8. They 8. I love a music video. I love a visual. You guys know I love a visual. The visual's 8. I don't care if you think it's inauthentic. I think she's real. And I think I want to be her friend. Manifesting being friends with Addison Rae. I think she'd be such a, like, dream smoke sesh. Like, I would love to smoke one with Addison, roll one with Lana, get high with Gaga and Karissa. Anyway, I love this record, and I love you guys, and I'm so glad you decided to watch my way too long art I consumed video. Sorry I was gone for a second, but we are back in the swing of things, and I appreciate you guys sticking around, supporting all of that good stuff. I love you so much. Just imagine I'm giving you a hug right now. Please leave down below all of your thoughts, or any of your thoughts on all of the art that I discussed today, or any art that you consumed recently. Yeah, and I will see you the next time. Bye!